Hello, welcome to another dynamic do-it-yourself video. And today I'm going to clean my really nasty, gross stovetop stainless steel.
I'm not a rapper.
And by request, a viewer suggested trying to do this without using something abrasive like baking soda. So I am accepting that challenge, and we are going to use a spray bottle filled with vinegar and hot water. This is very hot water. Gloves and a soft cloth, and I also have a sponge. So let's get started. Okay, first and foremost, safety must come first. I'm using these gloves because, for one, I'm using hot water, and I do not want to hurt myself. So here we are. And with the vinegar, you don't want to have a lot of abrasive things on your skin. So I have not cleaned this in a while, as you could tell by the buildup. And also my husband had done a little bit of woodworking, and so there is a little residual of some wood shavings here. So this is not exactly the most stellar of stovetops. So I'm going to take care of that, and I'm going to use, like I said, I'm going to use just vinegar and hot water. Now there's a lot of loose stuff here. Like I said, there's a lot of loose stuff. So I'm going to just remove these little tops. I'm going to set these aside. Okay. I don't know if your stove has something like that. It's also have these little things here. Okay. That you can also remove. But right now I'm not going to remove those. Okay. So let's stick that back on there. Okay. Now I'm going to use a sponge. This sponge has a little abrasive side, and it has a softer regular side. Okay, I'm just going to use this soft side, and I'm going to just wipe away any loose debris that's on the stove. Look at that. That's just gross. You know, and to be honest, you know, this is something that should be cleaned regularly. This is something that should be cleaned regularly. You know, after you spend all the time in cleaning up all this muck, it's always a good idea to, you know, maintain it. But sometimes life gets in the way, and maintaining is not exactly on the top of your list. So I'm going to go rinse this off, and I will be right back. So I have gone on and wiped this down, and you can see, hopefully you can see that it does look a little bit better, because a lot of that was just food that just sort of was just sitting there. It could easily be wiped away, but this still is not looking very nice, and it's not clean. When you're cleaning stainless steel, you have to be mindful of the grain of the stainless steel, and you don't want to work against it. So I'm going to be mindful of that as I do this. Now I'm taking my vinegar, just vinegar, giving it a couple of spritz. Using the soft end of this, I'm going to wipe it down as much as I can. To be truthful, I do like the slight abrasion that I get with baking soda, but I have been told that sometimes baking soda might not be easily accessible. It might be a little costly for some, and I get that. So if we can just narrow down our cleaning and going into our pantry and just getting a couple of simple things, we'll see how that works. Now here's some water, hot water. It's not boiling hot, okay, but it is very warm to touch. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that water on top of here. Okay, with the vinegar and the hot water. We'll let it sit here for a minute. Did I use any special water? Did I get some distilled water? Did I go to the store and buy some smart water? No, this is just plain old tap water that was hot when I took it out of when I got it from the faucet, and then I put it on the stove for a little bit so it could heat up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to come right back and see how well this, we're going to keep our eye on this little section right here where it's dark around the edge, around the burners, and we're going to see if it lessened with just, like I said, our little spritz of vinegar and some hot water. I'll be back. Okay, so I have been sitting here for not very long, about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to take my, bring that out there. Okay, I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to come along the edge here, and just with a little elbow grease, I'm pushing up gently against that stain. And I don't know if you can see that, but that stain has lessened. Actually, it's like grease. As I'm pushing and pulling against it, I can see how it's manipulated. That is grease that's browned up on my stove top. Ah, look at that. Just the vinegar and the warm or hot water. Like I said, I feel kind of funny calling it hot water because it's not that hot, but it's warm enough. Oh, I'm going around the edge here. Wow, look at that. Look at that. I think with the baking soda, this job will go a little bit faster. Will be more satisfying as you remove all that gunk quickly. But here, I'm just using water from my faucet and vinegar. I'm able to make some serious headway here. So there we go. Now, sponge soaks up the water, so as I'm going around, I'm actually picking up the water that I had poured down earlier. I'm sure somebody is saying no duh, but I just feel the need to have to express that. And just so you know that I'm not cheating, here's the abrasive side. It's a soft abrasion, but this is just plain sponge. I'm going to let some of this water soak up around here a little bit. I'm going to give another couple of spritz with my vinegar. I'm going to take care of the bottom, which wasn't as bad as the back burner. But look at that, I just dislodged. See, I had gone over it before and I got up a bunch of gunk, but now I see here, you see that? I have dislodged some more baked on food. There we go. You see me go off cameras because I'm going to my pot of hot water. Maybe I could put it here so you guys can actually see me as I go into it, but I don't want to distract or take away from what we're doing here. As you can see me just actually going through this. This is coming up. I'll just remove it so I could get down deep in there. So yeah, so this is it. So just vinegar and hot water. You're out of that money. You're wasting money, wasting time, and wasting gas, and your carbon footprint just got a little bit bigger because there you are out there trying to find something to help you clean. You know, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. If you don't know what kind of things you should have on hand in order to do these different projects, take a look at my playlist with the pantry essentials, and I break down a couple of items that you might just want to have on hand so you too can live like that prairie life. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I read Little House on the Prairie when I was a child, and I was really enamored by that lifestyle, you know, just that taking what little you have and doing something with it. But yeah, check out that playlist and see what things you can do. What are you going to use? You don't have to do everything yourself, but if you're into cleaning, you have a baby at home and you don't want a bunch of chemicals around your precious child. I know I didn't. Then you go ahead and find some things you need. Baking soda, vinegar, water, that Castile. Someone told me it was Castile. But you get the idea what I'm talking about. The soap, get that. Very few things you need to shy away from. Have it in your pantry, and then when things go down, you're right there. You're well armed, ready to go. So I am going to wrap this up right here. But you can definitely see a difference between the two. Okay, you could definitely see the difference. So now I'm going to use a plain soft cloth here, and I'm going to go over, just wipe gently, and you can actually see as I go over here with this soft towel. And I deliberately chose white because you can see like some discoloration, because you know it's going to be it's just the nature of it all. You're not getting everything up, but you are still, even as I'm wrapping this up, and I'm going to claim that I had a success and I cleaned my stove. As I'm wiping up, I'm still with this dry, soft cloth. Oops. With this dry, soft cloth, you see I'm still picking up some of the loosened stain. If you have removed these little parts that are on top, if you have this on your stove, make sure that you dry it off. Make sure you dry it off. This one is wet. Dry it off. Very important, because you don't want water to get in there and stay in there, because it will pretty much interfere with the function of your stove. So you really try to avoid getting anything inside there. It'll eventually will burn off. Woo, look at that. That's me just going through here, but anyway, you will eventually burn it off. But you know, why go through that hassle? Okay, so I did a fairly good job with just water and vinegar, and it's looking very nice. And I had a comment from a viewer last time that made a comment regarding getting that shine. We love this stainless steel because we like that shine, right? And I have posted this before in another video. I have posted in another video how you can use olive oil, just a little bit. So I'm not expecting you to get your fancy olive oil and just waste it, but just a little bit, just a tad. I'm going to just put just a little bit on this paper towel. There we go, just a little bit. There it is. And take it and just gently go over your stainless steel. As you go over your stainless steel with the olive oil, and I don't know what it is about the olive oil, but it hides little scratches. It really gives this stainless steel such a boost, such a life. I mean, this is looking wonderful. And as you can tell, as I'm using the olive oil, as I'm going around, I'm still picking up some residual, excuse me. Ooh, I had trouble with that word. Anyway, I am still picking up residual baked on, cooked on stuff. So I'm constantly working my stove, and I'm getting it looking really nice. So when husband comes home and he takes a look at the stove, he's going to be impressed, hopefully. And if not, doesn't matter. We don't do this to impress anybody. We do this for our own satisfaction. So there we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I could put the grate back on. Looks nice. Well, one side down, another side to go. I have to do the middle and the other side. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed this because I like when someone gives me a suggestion. It gives me another way to rethink what I already do. And look at this. It's looking good. All right, so if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And as always,